Hey, what's up? I'm Dakota Blanchard, and today we are going to take an in-depth look into the songs on the album Let Me Sleep Forever that came out a couple months ago. As some of you, maybe none of you, I don't know, may know, my band Veranda released our final album, Let Me Sleep Forever, back in October. I thought it might be cool to kind of go through all those songs individually. I'm probably going to separate this into different videos, do like one song per video, but I kind of just want to take you through the album, take you through the mix, take you through the composition, and kind of show you how things are laid out. So I think it'd be fun. I think there's a lot of things in those songs in particular that we kind of like hid in there, things that you wouldn't normally hear unless you were actually looking for them. Personally, one of my favorite things about music and songs is when you find a song where every time you listen back to it, you hear something different. I've always thought that was really interesting. So when we wrote this album, we kind of tried to go for that. I guess you could say kind of. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling here. Let's jump in. I'll take you through the layout of the project, and then we'll dive into the first song, which is Shy. Alright, so here we are in the project file for Let Me Sleep Forever. These are all the songs right here. I'm just gonna kind of run through, tell you guys what everything is, so it's not super confusing, and then we'll jump into Shy. So, first of all, these tracks up here, these are just the pre-pro scratch tracks. Nothing really to worry about, nothing too interesting right there. Everything that's orange, all this stuff right here, this is all drum and percussive stuff. Everything yellow in this field is all bass. Green is guitars. This darker green color is mainly the rhythms. The lighter green color is all the lead guitar stuff. Purple is the vocal tracks. Everything dark purple is like the main singing vocals. This lighter purple here is all the yelling vocals. This more pinkish, I guess, color is all the harmony tracks. And then everything this darker pink, darker pink is just vocal effects. We've got some choir down here also. All this stuff down here, these are all different effects. Basically, all this stuff in this general area. This is all different effects, sound effects and whatnot. And then we got some synths. So stuff right here, these are synths. Past that, we have just group tracks. So we've got close mics for the drums, overheads. Just like up there, everything orange is for the drums. You can see I've got a ton of automation in for the drums. And then we got the bass group track. So everything, all the different bass tracks are coming down to this one bass track. Then we've got the different guitar group tracks, the clean vocals, the yell vocals, all the vocals. And then we've just got some different effect sends. This one, this drum parallel effect send, this is essentially doing nothing right now because when I was actually mixing this, I was using some outboard gear, and that's what this was for. This was basically a parallel, it's what it sounds like. It was a parallel send of all the drum tracks sent to a outboard compressor that I then blended with the just dry drum track signals. So in a nutshell, that's just kind of everything and how it's laid out. It looks like a lot, but that's why it's color coded. If this stuff wasn't color coded, this would be a nightmare. Let's jump right into Shy. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of just hit play and then explain things along the way, because I don't really know how I'm going to do this yet, how I'm going to break everything down, but that sounds like a good idea. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, yeah, here we go.
Tell me how to put back or hide the things I broke. And if there is there's no restoration, then let me sing my final note. 'Cause profiteers grow hungry, so we fed them one last meal. Shook hands with the beast inside to search for something real.
Okay, so we have a lot going on right there when everything comes in. We go from just a guitar and a vocal to a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's start to break that down a little bit. So we have the drums come in. We have this reverse tom effect that kind of adds to this build. It's just a tom hit in reverse. I'll show you how that sounds real quick. Just something to add to the build of everything. For the drums also down here, I have a little bit of automation. It's just some reverb on these toms. We've got the rhythm guitars that come in. Play those real quick. We've got this bass, which we've deemed bass rat well done. I don't know if anyone's seen these bass names yet, but they're inspired by steaks. Yeah, DI being rare and super distorted being overcooked. So we have a nice well done crispy bass track that comes in. Play that real quick. We also, in the guitar field, have the shimmer kind of guitar. It's almost atmospheric in the background. I'll play that. That's a shimmer, all right. Down to vocals. So before everything comes in, we have this harmony come in, and it's deemed under real effects. So basically what that is just a effects chain that we had come up with in pre-production. He says the word real on the end of this line. It repeats over and over again for a little bit, and that's how we came up with the name for real effects. It's nothing too crazy. It's EQ'd to sound almost like a telephone, and then there's a delay and a ton of reverb. And you can see it starts out in stereo, and then the word real switches to mono. The reason we did that was kind of just for like the mood, I guess, the feeling of it. And you'll see as it gets over here, it switches back and forth between mono and stereo. And that's to add emphasis on some of the lines, puts more emotional value to them. It's like when you're hearing this on headphones or a good pair of speakers, this stuff, these lines right here are kind of they're gonna be sitting with the normal vocals well. And then when these ones hit, they're kind of gonna be like on either side of your head, if that makes any sense. I don't know how else to explain it. So let me show you what these sound like soloed real quick. One thing I forgot to mention is these intro toms. We did this for 2 of the songs on the album, Shy and Let Me Sleep Forever, and there's a clip of it in the documentary, if you've seen it, where you'll see Drake standing in the room with 2 tom drums, and we recorded him playing those just on a pair of room mics. It's these little layers of stuff that really make this sound huge. Like, I also have tom samples going on in these toms, and these tom samples are from the J Moss Signature Series kit, And it made sense to use these tom samples as reinforcement over the actual toms that were recorded, because of the fact that not only are these tom samples incredible sounding on their own already, but we also recorded these drums in the same room that these samples were created in. So it made sense. Real quick, I'll play these drums and I'm going to do on, off, on with the samples. And you'll see these samples just kind of add some low end reinforcement. So here we go. On, then off, then on. Watch over here. If you're not familiar with Cubase, I'm going to switch this over to mute. So this will mute the samples, and then when I put it back over here, you'll hear the samples. So yeah, that's the samples. I just realized I didn't even have these on either. That's good though. I'll show you what it sounds like with these when these come in. These kind of add just more of a roomy sound. They add a little bit more attack on the hit of the drums. I'll show you these soloed in a second, but I'll go on, off, on. Now let me show you how these sound just on their own. So nothing too crazy, but you can see that they add more character and depth to these toms. It's all about, you know, these little moves here. These little moves are what's gonna make your make your drummy drums sound big. So anyways, with all that being said, let's just keep going with this song.
Shook hands with the beast inside to search for something
So you can hear there when the drums come back in, they're not as big sounding. They're a little bit more in your face, and that's because of this automation right here. This is the reverb automation. So I love that part. That's when everything really hits. Especially, I don't know if this is probably a biased opinion, but I love how this guitar comes in right here in this pause. Let me show you it real quick. So we go from this lead right here into this lead right here. And in the back of that, we have this shimmer. Let me start off by showing you this shimmer. What's going on with this? So it's still there, it's just a lot quieter. And then it kind of starts to build up as everything else starts to build up again. So it doesn't sound like much on its own, but listen for it with everything all together in this break with Ian's yell right here. You'll also notice we have two different rhythms going on. We've got rhythm number 1. And we've got rhythm number 2. And let's check out what the bass is doing. Alright, I'm just going to keep letting the song play through. Go back from right before this pause. Shy away. Shy away. So here we have some guitar harmonies going on. So yeah, those are those guitar harmonies. Then on the end here, when things get soft again, you'll notice there's no main vocal. There's just this real effect track, and there's also a harmony on that as well. We've got the guitar shimmer that comes back in and ends the song. The drums on the end, the reverb on them is set to gradually increase so that the drums kind of sound like they're getting farther and farther away as the song fades out. So let's check all that out. You also notice there's no bass on the end. Just wanted to point that out also. So that wraps up Shy. If you guys have any questions, if I missed anything, if you're confused on anything about this layout or how it all works or anything, you can feel free to message me and ask me. I'd love to go into further detail and explain. I don't think I missed anything, but it's possible that I did. So if I did and you were like, hey, what was that? Can you explain that? Just message me. I'd love to show you. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sundial will be up next.
Until you spit it out like